Welcome to the Transfer Exchange Show. We're live. I'm joined by Garth Lewis and Steve K. How you doing, boys?
Yeah,
how you doing?
Mate.
Yeah, good, mate. Good.
There is plenty to discuss tonight. Manchester United yesterday wiped the smile off of Jurgen Klopp's face as Liverpool went for the quadruple, and their dreams were dashed down in flames. And I can see Garth smiling right now. So we're definitely going to be talking about that. We've obviously got the Champions League draw that happened last week. Arsenal take on Bayern Munich. Paris Saint-Germain versus Barcelona. Manchester City take on the mighty Real Madrid. It's the old Galacticos versus the new Galacticos, maybe. God, not having that. Not having that.
No, I am having that. That is exceptional, mate. That's an exceptional quarter-final draw. That's four solidly good games. That is. There's no two ways about it.
And Atletico Madrid take on Borussia Dortmund. And news this week, probably one of the biggest stories of the week. Ben White turns down an opportunity to play for England again, and Gareth Southgate has his 2 pence worth as well. We're going to be discussing that one. First and foremost, let's start with Manchester United versus. There you go. Go on. Let's start with Man United versus Liverpool. Obviously, Liverpool went for the quadruple. There was a lot of talk from the Liverpool fans once Jurgen Klopp announced that he was going to leave at the end of the season. The terms like, I feel sorry for every other team because we're going to be like a Tasmanian devil every game. Every game we're playing for the badge. Every game we're playing for Klopp. Since then, they've been smashed by Arsenal and they've been knocked out of the FA Cup by one of their fiercest rivals, Manchester United. Garth, yesterday, I can't lie, before the game, I looked at a lot of the head-to-heads at Old Trafford in recent years. I know Man United got handed to them 7-0 at Anfield, but I looked at their recent record at Old Trafford, and it's actually not that bad. So I wasn't surprised that Man United at least held Liverpool yesterday. What were your thoughts on the game?
I mean, first of all, there's nothing better, is there? You know what I mean, than beating your arch rival's last-minute winner as well. Like, it's something special. That's when you remember why you love football, them moments. Because we didn't... Liverpool fans could probably justifiably be like, Man United didn't deserve it. I think it was a pretty even game if you really look into it. Mm-hmm. Man United had a long, dominant bit of period of spell possession than Liverpool did. Liverpool had some good chances. We had some. Rashford could have, closed up shot for us right at the end there, but missed a sitter. So, but I can understand, a Liverpool fan could have a discussion about them being possibly hard done by. But yeah, amazing feeling. Listen, it's one game. There's a lot of talk going about this is going to rejuvenate Man United. We'll see, because the same old frailties were still there. Game management, they're talking about at half time. You know what I mean? Like, what we did for that second goal is just diabolical. Did either of you boys see it? Us try and play out the back, it's absolutely well. You've just conceded as well. You're 1-0. That's a pump downfield. I don't care. You're pumping that. You got in the end, the excitement override any bad feeling about the game. That's what I mean. I'm thinking about it now, and the result like that, it whitewashes out all of the bad stuff in that game, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Because it was such a high. Great to see Ahmed Dallo finally getting off. You know what I mean? Doing something for Man United, for the Man United shirt that's gonna. Because he come in with a lot of money, a lot of hype, and we've not given him any time. So it's good to see that he's actually gone for it. But yeah, great game.
And then got himself sent off.
It's
bit harsh.
No, I'm a rule man, ain't I? I come from a rugby background. You know the rules, mate. You know the rules. Listen,
you know the rules.
Yeah. But I don't know the rules with him. That's the problem. I don't know the rules with him. With taking your shirt off, I know them rules, mate. I do know them rules. Don't do it. Listen, it's a bit jobs worthy, in it. The referee could have maybe not given it, but then does his job come under pressure then down the line from you didn't give the blatant yellow card here? Why did your emotion get in the way? You know what I mean? So you know not to do it. It was silly. Luckily it's only a 1-game ban. The emotion got to him, didn't it? Let's face it. Like I say, because he's been on the sidelines for a while. Big price tag, 35 mil. So that's a lot of pressure he's releasing there. So, but yeah, silly move.
Yeah, I know. Steve, you saw the game yesterday.
Yeah.
Man United, did you think Man United deserve it? Do you think Liverpool should have done more to get the game finished? What was your thoughts on it?
My thoughts on it, obviously, from an absolute neutral. I sat down. I didn't really know what to expect. I was looking forward to the game. from a neutral's point of view, I thought it was fantastic. Do you know what I mean? I sat there, obviously not really caring who won, but I just sat there, put my feet up, and for 180 minutes, I was just absolutely enthralled by it. There was moments of quality. There was mistakes. There was poor play. There was good play. There was good goals. There was lucky goals. It was back and forth, back and forth. It was your typical, FA Cup tie for me. Blood and thunder. Just did not know which way it was going to go. I loved it. I really loved it.
Great advert for the FA Cup.
Yeah, I just, as I say, I've always been someone recently who's with FA Cup and like, Arsenal got knocked out. I'm not just saying it because I'm Arsenal. I'm like, yeah, all right. And I've always been a big lover of the FA Cup, so that don't please me to be like that. But fortunately, I've been up. But that yesterday was like, yeah. Do you know what I mean? That was what I remember our FA Cup ties used to be like, and I loved it. As I said, it was poor quality in parts, but that made it all the better for me.
Mm-hmm.
There was dodgy passes. There was, there was players on the pitch who's going, "Oh no, how did he miss that? Why didn't he score that?" But it just made it all into an absolute fantastic game. But taking away all that, you're just going to sort of like cut it down. So I think Man United deserved to win the match.
Mm-hmm.
If it was like to me, it was a bit like a boxing match. So if you looked at who should have come out on points at the end, for me, Manchester United did. I thought, there's a lot of things people saying, Liverpool never did this, Liverpool had a really strong team out. And for me, I mean, I'm not one for like, because I get enough with Arsenal, where you hear that the only reason why they won was because the other team were poor, and that's all you hear about. And I'm the same as yesterday. I'm not having the fact that Liverpool were poor. I think that Man United at times looked way better side, and they made them look poor, and they didn't look like they fancied it at some times. Liverpool, and you got to give Man United their props for that. I agree with Garth. I've seen a few, people online today. I've listened to a few radio stations during the day, and I think people, don't get carried away. This ain't, I've seen like in interviews with Ten Hag seems to get. I mean, I don't blame him, to be honest with you. You get excited, you know what I mean? He's had a lot of shit go on over the last few months, so yeah, enjoy it. But agree with Garth. Hold on a minute. This is an FA Cup tie. It's not nothing else. It's not the league. So nothing's changed on that point. But great game. United deserve to win. Really enjoyable. Loved it.
We saw quite a few really good games this week, and we saw Coventry knock out Wolves in a tight game, but a very enthralling game. We obviously saw the Chelsea game, which was ended 4-2. Like, there's some really good games. Like as you said earlier, a really good advert for the FA Cup. We also saw Klopp once again storm out of an interview.
Such a bad loser.
And look, some people will back him up and say, "Yeah, it was a stupid question." But Garth, do you feel it was a stupid question from
what was it again?
reporter?
I forget what the exact. What was the question? Was it about intensity?
It was about. Mentioned that the intensity in extra time had dropped.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
too many games.
Stupid question.
Too many games or something.
No, Jurgen Klopp is. Listen, he's a great manager. We've had the conversation. He's top 5 all-time Premier League. He's one of the best to ever do it. But he has got a real petulant streak in him if things don't go the way he thinks they should have gone. And this is what I mean. Like, I can imagine Liverpool fans. I agree with Steve. I do think Man United deserved to win yesterday, but I can see why Liverpool fans would be like, "Oh, we should have won that," because there was chances all over the gap. But he's a petulant. Listen, I'm a Man United fan. Fergie used to ban reporters and do this and do that, so I can't. It's a bit of pot calling the kettle black here, but it's disrespectful to the reporter. It's because Jurgen Klopp, he always does it with what I call lesser known journalists as well. Like he hasn't got time for this Danish reporter, you know what I mean? Like it's Sky Sports, the teeth are out, you know what I mean? The teeth are out, the hugs, the high fives. The moment you start seeing it go down the like, anyway, yeah, petulant, not needed. I thought it was poor. What's the word? Yeah, it's a poor mentality. It's just bad loser. Like it's literally, it is what it is, isn't it? It's bad losing.
He's a really bad loser.
Yeah.
Steve, what was your thoughts on it on Klopp? Because it's not the first time he's had an outburst at reporter. It was actually on Sky Sports a couple of months ago where it was. I agree with you. This wasn't the standard reporter. It looked like I think he was a new reporter, but he was doing it for Sky Sports. And again, he said silly questions, a stupid question. It seems to be just answer it. If you find it's a stupid question, I'm sure you can answer it in a way where you sort of show up the question rather than just sort of storming out. Just a poor form. What's your thoughts on it, Steve?
Yeah, I mean, he came across like a big baby at the end of the day, didn't he?
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. That's what I was looking for.
I mean,
you know,
I was looking for like the dummy that he spat on the floor, but I mean, big up to the poor reporter because yeah, I mean, I'm sure if it wasn't me or one of us would have been standing there, we would have, maybe someone else would have reacted a bit differently. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what you even said that was that wrong. I don't know what did he say?
It was just bad.
It wasn't. There wasn't a. I didn't think. He answered the question, asked a question about intensity and did he feel there was a lack of it, which I've heard many reporters ask many managers hundreds of times after games before, and all of a sudden he's saying, "Well, what are you talking about? Stupid question." I think it's time for you to go, Jurgen. Like Garth, I've got massive respect for him as a manager, mate. But I think it's getting to you, mate, and I think maybe it is time for you to leave and go and do something else because if this is what it's doing to you. Then unless he's got some other kind of problem.
Let me ask you. Sorry, just jump in here. Is this? Can he see that he's going to end the season with no silverware? Is that what's going through his mind right now?
He's won the League Cup, hasn't he?
Sorry, but you know what I mean. Like that's not going to be the farewell season.
No, that's not what they were getting hyped about when they
exactly.
Go on.
I think he probably had a flash, like a little look into the future when that geezer asked that question, and maybe he did when the actual Man United game was over, when the final whistle went. And, they're out. They won the League Cup. Well done for that. You won the League Cup, and look. Everyone's saying about the Europa League and they're saying, "Oh, it's a given." For me, it's no given.
No, not Europe.
I don't know. I don't know where they're getting this. Oh, Liverpool give them it now. It's all given. There's a bloody big side.
Who they still got? Yeah, they still got some big teams, ain't they?
There's AC Milan in there. There's Bayer Leverkusen in there. There's some big Roma's in there. Atlanta's in there.
Big teams.
Big teams. They've got no guarantee on a one-off match. Do you know what I mean? If Man United beat them, other teams.
West Ham are still in it. West Ham could give them a game out of nowhere.
West Ham could give them a game.
Yeah.
So
100%.
Yeah, and look, and the title as well. They've been scraping over the line recently. Liverpool, to be fair, and winning matches. Look, all right, they're getting the job done, and that's the main thing. But yeah, I mean, can you imagine? Maybe he's having a little thought. Maybe you think, whoa, I could come out with a League Cup, and then when I leave, God forbid. The great Klopp, the great me, which sometimes he comes across as a little bit, doesn't he? Sometimes he says, I'm the great King Klopp.
He's got an ego.
He's going to come away, walking away at the end of these, the season with just the League Cup.
Yeah, and I mean that would be a disappointment.
Which the way their fans have been acting, especially on our Arsenal fans' behalf, since we went top and above them, it's been an absolute.
Here we go.
I've even had a word with Farrell, and I said to Farrell, "What's wrong with your fans, mate? Well, they were sort of coming out of the woodworks and saying Arsenal this, Arsenal that, and I've been in attacks online, and then
they've drunk the Kool-Aid, Steve. They've drunk the Kool-Aid. I don't know who started this quadruple rumor. I mean, it's 4 trophies, don't get me wrong, but it's not even the real quadruple anyway when it's the Europa League we're talking about, for a start. But someone started this rumour and the Liverpool fans they've ate it up.
They ran with it,
mate.
They rammed it.
Yeah.
God.
I mean, we go for the triple as well. Are we? You know, we've already won the Community Shield, so what are we on for the triple?
Oh, get out of here!
God, do you think? So do you think that Klopp's feeling the pressure? Like it's really getting on top of him?
That suggested, doesn't it? Because he's used like he had a few snaps here and there. Why is he leaving? He's saying he can't handle it anymore, which suggests not, and not in a bad way. But 8 years of that amount of pressure at one of the biggest clubs in the world, it's going to grind you down. You know what I mean? So I reckon it's that. I reckon when Harvey Elliott banged home that goal for 3-2, through his mind, he's like, oh my god, like 4 trophies is on. 10 minutes later, Man United are walking down the tunnel 4-3 winners. That's got to. You can't keep going through it over and over again.
And he's had that a lot over the years. Missing out by 1 point. Getting to a final and then losing out. And it always feeling like you having to restart. And especially after last season where they didn't have a good season. And he probably thought at that point there, have I really got it in me?
Yeah, it's no excuse his behaviour. There's not. You can't excuse it. It's poor form from him. But again, like I say, you can imagine it's probably the 16th interview. He's already done all of the big boys, and it's the same questions over and over again. You know, it's the same for movie stars in press junkets. Whenever one of them gets caught out saying, I'm like, yeah. How long into the day was this though? Was this 7 hours out of the 8 hours they've had to say? You know what I mean? And they've tried to give a different answer, and it's come out well moody. It's no excuse. His form was poor, but yeah, I think the pressure might be just, you know what I mean, getting to boiling point for him.
Steve, what do you think? What do you honestly think Liverpool are going to come out with this season?
Oh dear. Do you know what? You know, look, I was like I've already said there. You know, they've obviously in for the title still, and the joint top with Arsenal at the moment. No, they're second to Arsenal. I say joint top. Am I talking about? And they're in the Europa League. What do I think they come out with? I don't think they'll win. I don't think they'll win the league at the moment. So, yeah, they could come away with the best chance I think they probably got is the Europa League. In a one-off game. But that's
AC Milan, Roma, Atalanta to get past.
Yeah, that's
Marseille, Benfica, Leverkusen, who are in very good form, and West Ham.
Yeah, exactly, mate. They're big. They're big. It's like even Garth said, like. You know, West Ham are probably the weakest out of the lot, but even them on their day, you know, they could sneak something at Anfield and win at the London State. It's possible. It's not. You know, it's possible. I mean, obviously, you know, half my family's all West Ham fans, and you know, they're up for it. They're saying, oh, you know, we can beat Bayer. They probably could. You know, they probably could. You know, they've got a chance. So yeah, look. I think he's yeah. I mean, I'm sure it ain't done no good. Be interested to see how they do the next game. But for me, I still say City are going to win the title personally. And yeah, they could easily come away with nothing, mate.
I will say this. I will say, sorry, Kieran. I know you lads don't want to jinx it, but out of nowhere, Liverpool become third favourites to win the league.
Is that what it is?
City,
is that what they are?
Man City, not on the bookies, for like other fans looking at it. Like it's Man City.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Arsenal, for me, have overtaken just recently. Liverpool's form.
They're crumbling very. I want to say slowly, but it's actually quite quickly. I think since the Arsenal game, I know they've probably not dropped many points, but before the Arsenal game, it very much felt like Liverpool were in the kind of form that Man City were, where people were looking at them like, this team's unstoppable. Yeah. They can go through and it's going to be toe-to-toe with Man City, and Arsenal are just going to be sort of in and about it. But since then, they seem like a team that could be taken down. They've had to come back in a few games from being down against lesser teams and going out of cup competitions when they were up for the quadruple and those sorts of things. When fans are talking about it, players secretly are talking about it, like those things can really dent your confidence and really sort of knock the wind out of you.
Yeah. I think we should give Man United a lot of credit. I mean, before that game kicked off, I was watching it with the family and all that, and you know, I said we was all saying that, you know, we thought United had a chance because this I mean, Garth, this was your season, wasn't it? This was United. This 90 minutes, 108, and this was Man United's season. If they had lost this and gone out of the FA Cup, then
trophy wise, sorry, I'm with you. 100%.
Yeah, and you know, even the fourth, fifth place is a fight at the moment.
That's not a trophy, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but you know, they've gone out there and Ten Hag's probably said to them, look, this is, we need to win this. You know, we lose this, you know, you go into the rest of the league, you don't know how that's going to affect. But this is a great win for Manchester United going through for the rest of the season now. Yeah, hopefully they'll go on here, take over Spurs.
We've had a few false dawns. That's why we've had a few false dawns, Steve. That's the problem. I was like, listen, I've got just quickly because I forgot to say because I was getting all excited about reliving Man United winning again. For once, Man United, it don't happen much this anymore, so it was nice. For once, Ten Hag showed that he can, on the fly, like make astute tactical decisions that can change the outcome of games, which has been far too lacking from him this season. Like making brave decisions. Like I know it's a cup game, so it didn't matter, but to be finishing up with Bruno Fernandes and Anthony at centre back and left back, like that's brave tactical management from him, and it paid off. So fair play. But we've had a few false dawns. Yeah, we've had a few false dawns already this season where it's the season starting again from here. You know what I mean? And we've lost to Brentford 4-0. And we've got next enough,
I mean, I thought he was off to the funny farm when I see like where he put Anthony in for Fernandes, and I was
Anthony weren't happy, was he?
And I was like, that's it. You're gone, mate. You're gone. Yeah. I've tried to stick with you all the way through for the last year and a half. You know, give him a chance. You know, I've started to waver that he's not a United fan of the last 2 months. But I'm always someone who likes to give players, managers chances. I'm not one of someone that. But that I was like, that's it. Just your lot when you done that. Yeah. But he proved me wrong.
No, but that's the thing, Steve. Isn't it? That's the thing. That could have gone very badly. Anthony tried to take a man on at left back. We lose the ball, boom, they score because obviously it's before 3-2 as well. They score, we get knocked out, and then he's being called an idiot. You know what I mean? And it's just nice to see that he did something different and tried to change it up, and it actually worked because Liverpool's game management at the end was like that's a kill. Oh mate, as we nicked that ball, as Dallo nicked that ball, I was like, oh, it's happening. It's happening! I don't believe it.
I think he was so pleased, wasn't he? As well, he was so pleased in the press.
I was actually pleased for him. I felt so bad.
You know what? I mean, he did go on about Arsenal again, which I thought, and even that I was like saying, just leave it alone, please leave it alone. He started talking about Arsenal, which when we won 3-1 at the Emirates, and he keeps bringing it up, and it's like an in joke now, but. You felt the excitement coming out of the screen. It was like he wasn't the manager. It was like he was a fan. And I've slagged him off recent months. You know,
but it's been bad. It's been bad, mate. So
but I give him that. He did make me smile because he was. And to be honest with you, he deserves something for what he's actually
done well.
He deserves some slack because. In a time when Man United have had a lot of injuries, they've been slated for being really poor. Admittedly, there's been some results which are unforgivable, but there's also been results where people didn't think that Man United are going to get anything from these games, and they've got something. So, I think he's bought himself some time, and I think it's only fair to give him that time once the new structure's been brought into play, and we can really see what he can do. But if they bring in the new structure and the first thing he does is go back to Holland for the Netherlands for some players, then you need to start questioning what's going on there.
Can I ask Garth? Do you think this game's got anything to do with what Ineos have decided? What's going to happen in the future? If they have decided that, for instance, he's going to, they want to get something at the end of the season.
That'd be silly if it. That'd be silly. You can't do anything off one game, especially Manchester United versus Liverpool, one off in a cup quarter final. What they're going for. The state we're in. No, I think their decision's made already. I don't think Ten Hag. I don't know what the decision is, but I think if they've decided to replace him, he can't do anything to save his job. Win the FA Cup, doesn't matter. Get top 4. Maybe if he sneaks top 4 and wins the FA Cup, that might change their mind. But apart from that, I think their decision's made, and we'll know about it in the summer, whichever way they're going. I'm proper on the fence at the moment. I can't tell because I think he needs another year because we've been missing Mason Mount all season, who was our key signing for the year. We were missing Martinez all season. You know what I mean? Like, we've had all the issues with Sancho and Greenwood and Ronaldo. I think he deserves another year, but we'll see.
I think you got a chance. Garth, because Spurs weren't good. They lost to Fulham, 3-0.
Oh, you mean top 4? Yeah, but he's got to win the FA Cup as well.
So
on that top 4, though, top 4, I think Steve's right. Like, Villa, there was so much talk about Villa, like in the early parts of the season, about that Arsenal would be competing with Villa and Tottenham, and we mentioned it many times that Unai Emery's not quite that manager once the pressure's on. And if we're honest, he's the kind of manager who will probably look at the Europa Leagues and go, do you know what, that might be something that's more my thing. So for me, it was never concrete that he was really going to be pushing for that top four. He's still in the battle now. And Tottenham, we all know what Tottenham do.
Yeah.
And the most Tottenham result of all time is you hand it to Aston Villa, and the following week you get done by Fulham 3-0.
But it's just,
the best thing, I think you mentioned it to me, was that Tottenham were gonna match the Invincibles in scoring in every game for however long, which they really, really wanted.
And they Spurs it up as well.
And they Spurs it up. Spursing it up.
But it's just who they
6
are,
points
mate.
behind. We're 6 points behind.
It's just who they are, mate. You know? It's just who they are.
Yeah.
Well,
it's just who they are.
It was only last week. There was a lot of Tottenham fans talking about how they still feel like they could push Arsenal for that third spot.
I'll behave. Come on, Spurs
I was watching it last night, and the breakdown was wild.
It's 11 points difference.
The guy was basically saying, Tottenham are gonna beat Arsenal. Man City are going to beat Arsenal, and he went, there's another team that I think is going to beat Arsenal, and I think he was talking about Man United, but without really saying it, because they would have got slated for that. And he said that's 9 points, and we all saw history. We all saw Arsenal last. What did he say? Oh, that's it. We all know what you did last summer. That's his line.
A dream.
He's like, we all know what you did last summer, and I was like, oh my god, you lot are crazy.
I want to say this though. Man United still got to play Liverpool, Chelsea. Have we got you boys?
Yeah.
No. Yeah. You boys.
Yeah.
So we've got to play Liverpool, Chelsea, you boys. Like, we've got some big tough games coming up. To overturn the 6 points, if Spurs get fourth place, we need Spurs to really go Spursy. Like, really go Spursy, to be quite honest with you. So,
I think it's not off the cards, because it's those sorts of results against Fulham where they will be will question themselves. The pressure will be now on them, where it was off. Like, you breeze past Fulham. You've now added pressure to yourself. But we will see. It's going to be an interesting ride. Quickly before we move on to the next topic, Xabi Alonso, Steve. Many Liverpool fans feel like he is the man to take over at Liverpool. But for me, I feel like they're jumping the gun a bit. I feel like they're talking up Xabi Alonso like he's the next coming. But more importantly, like, he is going to be joining Liverpool when Bayern Munich are looking for a manager. And for him, I personally think it'll be a smarter move to go to Bayern Munich and then potentially go to Liverpool, rather than go straight to Liverpool after what is seen as one of the greatest managers they've ever had. What's your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I agree, mate. I agree. I mean, if you look back over past shows, when we've spoken about who should be the next Liverpool manager, when speaking to the two boys who, are not here tonight, Farrell and Kevin, I think Liverpool should be going for a more experienced manager, just due to the makeup of their squad and their team at the moment. I feel exactly like what you said. I feel Alonso. Look, he's done fantastically this season, but it's his one really good season, if you like. He hasn't really done nothing before, he's their number one target. They do want him. There's no doubt about that. He is their top of their list, the guy they want. So he is the one they're going for. But for me, I agree. I don't think he's the right fit right now for Liverpool. I think he needs to maybe even get like another job, like you said. Maybe even if it's not Bayern, then someone in the Premier League. He needs to be proven. I think if he goes to Liverpool, he's automatically probably going to sign him on like a 5-year contract, which could prove disastrous. Liverpool, for me, taken away yesterday's game on an up. I think it depends. I mean, if players like Salah leaves, Van Dijk leaves, and players like that, then maybe there's more of a reason why you would bring Alonso in, because you're going to have to start playing younger players and all that. Has he got the pull like a Xavi? Has he got the pull like a Zidane? Has he got a pull like a Nagelsmann at the moment? I don't think so. I agree. I think they should be looking elsewhere. I think he's one of the upcoming managers. He's got a little bit of Arteta about him in his first season, obviously doing a lot. But then again, we could say it's the Bundesliga and all that. But yeah, I don't want to take nothing away from him for what he's done this season. He's done amazing this season. I agree. For me, if I had to pick someone as a Liverpool manager, I'd go for someone like a Xavi or something. Or no, I'll tell you what, I'd probably go for Nagelsmann. Experienced, done it, been really experienced, used to working with big players, still young. He's that. He's got that passion on the touchline. He's someone who can connect with the crowd like Klopp does. I think you're going to need a manager who can do that. I don't think Alonso is the type of manager who could come in and like fist pump the crowd or do you know what I mean? He's not that. He's not in that mold. I think they need someone like that. Nagelsmann fits that perfectly. He's a nutter. So, but also very, very good as well. So he would be able to go. I think it's a mistake. I think there's a chance they could go backwards for a couple of seasons under Alonso. But,
Garth, what's your thoughts? One on Liverpool, potentially getting Alonso. Is he the right man? And do you think they're jumping the gun in feeling that he's theirs for the taking?
I'd definitely jump the gun on that one, 100%. Personally, I think I spoke to you privately about this. If I was Xavi Alonso, I 1,000% would take the Bayern job over the Liverpool job. Coming in to replace Klopp, are you mad? The thing with the Bayern job is you can take it, get sacked in a year. It doesn't look bad on your CV because it's Bayern Munich.
Yeah,
what? You won the domestic treble, but lost in the Champions League final, and you got sacked. Yeah, it's Bayern Munich. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. So you don't. I definitely for him. I think anyone taking this Liverpool job right now, it's a very, very risky move for him. Steve's talking about Salah and Van Dijk, 100%. Even if they don't leave this year, they've got to replace them over the next couple of years. That's big replacements, along with Klopp going. Yeah, personally, if it was who would I pick as their manager? It's so tough. This is why when people say they want a Ten Hag out, I'm like, but who's coming in? Realistically, I'd probably be looking at like a Tommy Tuchel. If he's leaving Bayern at the end of the year, just come in, exactly what Steve's saying, steady the ship for a couple of years. Because listen, unless Liverpool get very, very lucky, it's not. It's almost a guarantee that they're falling off. Like I know you say, Steve, you think they might. I think whoever they get in, it's going to be very difficult to maintain what they're doing because, as you already touched on there, Steve, their whole philosophy, their whole football ethos is driven from the ego and the energy of Jurgen Klopp. Really, like it really is.
They feed off it, don't they?
Yeah, the crowd feed off of it, the players feed off of it. Like you can imagine him on the training field, like just bigging everyone up.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
you can't go. It's hard to go from high energy to that. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, look at Benitez. Do you know what I mean? They hated him, didn't they? Mate, a lot of them. He came in, he just wasn't Liverpool, was he?
Yeah, exactly.
And they can't stand him. As far as I'm well, maybe a bit over the top to say that, but he never really connected with the Liverpool fan because of the way he was. Quiet. Never.
But the problem with any manager, this is what I was trying to say, Steve. Any manager comes in, this is the problem they've got. They won't connect with the fans unless they win straight away, because then the fans are like, well, last year we were challenging for the title, now we're fourth. I saw it under Moyes. Moyes should have been given another year minimum. You're coming in after Sir Alex Ferguson, and you get two signings of Matter and Fellaini or whatever it was. He needed more. So I can see Liverpool going for a couple of board managers before they find the right fit. I think which one of you two said it. I think that's probably the best bet for it. If Alonso wants the Liverpool job, do a couple of years at Bayern and then go looking elsewhere once you've made your name in Germany.
Do you boys think, from Alonso's point of view, I think he should stay where he is? Stay with his for another year, and
the only thing I would say, the only thing I would say, like where's your next opportunity? So
That's the thing.
if you stay for a year, Bayern fill in their job manager, Liverpool fill
Yeah.
their manager role, where's your next opportunity? Like, I feel like the Bayern Munich job, it's the pinnacle for anyone in Germany, and the timing is perfect for him. If he finishes his season, wins it with Leverkusen, he's done it. What more can he do? He's not going to win a Champions League. He's not like Europa League. That's not where he needs to go. He needs to test himself at the next level in that league as well. I feel like it's a great step to Bayern Munich. There's going to be pressure on him. You can't go to Bayern Munich and you've basically got to try and reenact what you've done at Bayern Leverkusen, because that's what they're going to be looking for. Like, they're going to be looking for lovely football to watch, the win percentages that he's been doing. Like, Julian Nagelsmann got sacked after losing 3 games.
That's what I mean. Getting sacked from Bayern does not damage your CV as a manager, because they just go through them, mate. Like, I think for him personally, I think it'd be a foolish move to go to Liverpool. I really do. I won't lie. I don't watch enough German football to know how well he's doing out there, apart from what I see in the players. But also, his style of play don't work in the Premier League.
Free at the back.
Yeah, free at the back, mate.
Free at the back with them high wingers, high fullbacks.
High fullbacks. They're wingers, bro. They're wingers. Yeah,
they're midfielders. They're old school right and left midfielders. Yeah. They're not wing backs.
They're half-backs, mate. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. It really is. Listen, as Steve was saying, like, they want him for some reason. That's the other thing. Like, do you not find? I think that's what you're trying to get on here. A bit weird that, like, he's had a good season by Lakers, and all of a sudden he is the man. Like,
I feel like it's the fashionable choice at the moment. I think it's the one that will appease the fans the most. It will excite them that they've got someone who was attached to the club previously and is doing so well in management right now. I just think it works for them. It's the kind of thing I'd probably get a little bit excited about. But I would have been looking at Ancelotti before he signed his new contract, to be like, I want him, because he's an older head. Everywhere he goes, he does a decent job. Like, he knows he's got the pull to bring in players. He knows the right kind of players to bring in. Like, that would have been my choice. Someone with a bit more experience. That Nagelsmann, I feel like they need someone who's going to be I don't want to say a stopgap, because they want success, but someone who's going to take the brunt of the transitions that's going to be from Klopp. The Liverpool fans that think there's not going to be a drop off are absolutely crazy, because that is not giving credit to what the job that Jurgen Klopp's done. If you think there's not going to be a drop off, because that's just saying he's just like any other manager, and it's just not the case. So
one thing I will say is that we're saying like how Klopp is, but there's what manager is like Klopp. Do you know what I mean? There's not. But there's managers that have got that enthusiasm. Do you know what I mean? When Tottenham fans went from Conte, if you want someone who's got that high energy, there's other managers who've got high energy. They might not be as prima donna as Conte, but if you want the energy on the sidelines, you can find that sort of manager. To go from a Klopp, it's the fist pump, yeah, for sure, to someone who's going to be standing on the sidelines, keeping quiet like a professor. Arteta type, I suppose.
You know what?
You can say Arteta type or Arsenal type for everything.
Yeah. I was just thinking, I agree with you, Keir, about the stopgap, and it is a stopgap. Do you know what? In all reality, maybe they should get Steven Gerrard. Let him come in, because he'll get a lot more of the fans on his side than any other manager. They've got a quality team there. Now, I think Steven Gerrard is an awful manager and doesn't deserve any more chances. But if you're looking for someone that can take the brunt of the wrath from the Liverpool fans, you know what I mean? Alan Shearer, when he did it with Newcastle when they were getting relegated, you know what I mean? Like, then maybe, but I don't see any choice for him really.
If he had stayed at Rangers, Garth, he probably would have had half a chance. It was going to Villa that killed him. I mean, is there much of a difference between what Gerrard's done at Rangers than what Alonso's done at the Bundesliga? I mean, they're both right. Okay, look, the Bundesliga is that they had Bayern Munich chase them.
I know where you're coming from. They
had still. I mean, I'm not saying but if he was to have won like 4 SPL titles or something and took over the mantle as the top team, he probably would. They might have been looking at him, but
Well, I think they still are, ain't they? He's just down the list. Because the thing is, after the problem I see every time I see these next managers for Liverpool is that after Xabi Alonso, that list gets thin on names
It's well thin. I don't even know who they are.
Yeah, like literally, I'm having to look him up. Like, who is this geezer? And it's like the Girona manager because Girona have done well this. You're like, bro, like,
it's all that. It's all that.
They're working
it's like,
with
they're doing well now.
Yeah.
It goes like Almiron, doesn't it? Is that his name, Almiron? And then you go De Zerbi, and then you go Potter.
Their assistant manager.
And then you go
Linders. Is it Linders, their assistant manager? He's like 5th on the list now. Of like next, like could be the next gaffer. Like crazy.
Yeah, I think they may be thinking along the lines of, let's see how Alonso does at a bigger club with more pressure.
Gary O'Neill in. He's done blinding this season.
I wouldn't write off a stopgap at this point now. Yeah. Probably one of the biggest stories of the week. Ben White turns down the opportunity to play for England. He actually had someone reach out and say that he doesn't want to be considered for the squad. Gareth Southgate said of Ben White's mentality towards the international duty, you'd have to speak to him or Arsenal to get an understanding of that. There's been players over the years in my time who didn't want to be available. I've had that since I've been here. It's not the only time as a player to turn down an international call-up. For me, England was the pinnacle. I did enjoy every moment with England. No, there were moments where you thought, here we go into the lion's den, if you like. Yes, but always wanted to challenge myself and test myself. And the things I regret in my life are things that I've not had a go at. Not the things that I failed at. For me, it's always the ultimate. But I wasn't at a club who's going for a league title or in the last rounds of the Champions League. I wouldn't want to speculate behind that. I kind of think you have. I think everything you said there, Gareth, was a bit of throw him under the bus. It's like you basically said that he's a little bit of a coward for not pushing through. You're kind of admitting there is an issue because you said our times is it always easy? No, but you've got to give it a go. So it does feel like to me that the story that came out afterwards in the Athletic about Steve Holland and the bus that they had when they went in the England camp last time are true. But Steve, do you feel like, because there's been a lot of uproar, do you feel like Ben White has ruined his England career, has ruined his chances of playing for England again? What's your thoughts on it?
Well, certainly under Gareth Southgate, he's probably ruined his chances. I don't think he's. You'll see. I mean, he definitely won't be at the Euros. I think that's 100% sure. But you're right. I think he's thrown Ben. At the same time, before I go into that, I don't think Ben White actually gives a damn what Southgate says or what anybody says. We know Ben from his attitude, his personality, from Arsenal. That I just something's happened in Qatar. He got sent home. Basically, what Gareth Southgate has done, he's basically lied, hasn't he? Because in the Athletic come out the next day with exactly what had happened. Mm-hmm. And when the Athletic write a piece, I did speak a little bit to David Ornstein about it. And he said to me that he was never going to be in it months ago. He was never going. So look, but at the end of the day, it's up to Ben White. Look, something's gone on over there. Southgate's lied in his press conference. He's lied because he was asked, was there an altercation between Steve Holland? There was an altercation because it's obviously come out afterwards that there was. I do get a little bit of like Southgate trying to sort of not go into it too much, basically because he doesn't want to cause unrest in the camp, and we're coming up to the Euro, so I dare say he wants to play it down as much as possible. So I give him that, but at the end of the day, look, it's up to Ben White what he wants to do. He's obviously hasn't got no time for Steve Holland and Ben White, and he doesn't want to play for him. And that's plain to see. I don't think he cares. I don't give people keep coming out with the different their views on it and what Ben should do, and you know, don't ever pick him again and all that. Well, I could tell those people we couldn't care less what you think. He doesn't want to play. He doesn't want to play. We hear about how Ben, you know, he's not that. He doesn't. After he plays for Arsenal, after that, he doesn't watch football. He doesn't play football. He doesn't get involved in it. He doesn't. You know, he's not a lover of it. And basically, he wants to spend his time with his family. And that may be another reason is that he don't want to go and, you know, trance around all the world or the country. And, you know, when he gets his spare time, he don't want to do football in his spare time. So, but
yeah, I do see. Sorry, I do see people misquoting Ben White a lot on that. Like a lot. People say Ben White doesn't like football. He never said that. He never said he doesn't like football. He said he doesn't watch football outside of football.
yeah.
So, and I'm sorry, like
Fair enough.
that's fair enough, mate. If your life is football, you're watching football when you're at the club. So during training, when you're doing your training, you're analysing games and stuff like that. To go home to then watch more Premier League games or Serie A games, where's the switch off? I can understand appreciating other footballers and you have massive appreciation for watching it. I get it. But not everyone's the same. What's wrong with switching off the football and sticking on a film? Chilling out with your family?
Paul Scholes literally, like, famously refused to watch the tapes he was given. He's like, mate, I play football 5 hours a day, every day. I don't need to watch more football. You know, I don't see anything wrong with like him not wanting to watch games at home and stuff, to be fair. But the press will jump on anything, won't they? The moment they don't like someone, they're going to jump all over them. So.
And Garth, what's your take on the whole situation with Ben White and the England camp?
Yeah. Now Steve's giving his impassioned defence of Ben White, you know, skating around the shoe, sitting on the fence there, calling our national team manager a liar.
Yeah.
3 times.
Harry Redknapp said it's a disgrace.
Live on air, calling him a liar to his face. I hope you got proof, sir. There's no libel there.
The Athletic. Yeah, I'm just going by the Athletic.
You're a liar.
I'm just going by the Athletic, who totally just went the other way.
Sorry, can I ask you? Can you expand on what happened with Steve Holland? I didn't read this article.
Apparently, what had gone down is Steve Holland made England give out detailed analysis of the game and breakdowns of the game, and when they were giving Ben White Steve Holland felt that Ben White wasn't taking it seriously and had
it's nothing. Yeah,
went mental at him, in front of everyone, and Ben White didn't take well to it, and said, "Nah, fuck that." Sorry, basically.
He basically told Steve Holland what they've had
a Barney. They've had handbags at dawn. First things first, I'll say this: Gareth Southgate. Listen, mate, playing for England in the 90s, playing for your country in the 90s, it was different than it is now. Like that was the pinnacle. It isn't. Listen,
it isn't
about World Cup. It isn't like World Cup finals. It isn't the pinnacle anymore. Champions League finals are the pinnacle. Like winning the Ballon d'Or is the pinnacle for the modern footballer. You know what I mean? Getting that big contract. So that's not the same thing. Listen, if Ben White feels he's being disrespected, he feels that he's going out there out of Jamie Carragher. He's not going to get minutes because Southgate's got his favourites and he's a family man who's missing time with his family. I understand where he's coming from. Now, if he's saying for this one game he's not available, fair enough. If he's taking himself out completely, you are getting into a bit of like, come on, surely not just for a shouting match. Like, there's something more going down here because otherwise, like, you're throwing away a career that I would suggest is only on the up. But anyway, sorry, Kelly, you were about to say.
No, look, I think I'm more in the camp with where you are. But what I would say is, if he feels like Steve Holland thinks that his demeanour and the way that he is someone who's doesn't really care, or who's not taking things seriously, and that's Ben White's demeanour, how are things going to get better? Unless Steve Holland says, "I apologise, I was wrong," that's a relationship that's done. That's done.
Yeah.
And if Ben White's looking at it like, how long is this guy really going to be here? I think he's playing it like that. I think he's going, "You ain't going to be here forever."
Yeah, I'll take my chance when it comes.
I'll take my chances.
He's a quality baller. He's a quality baller. Listen, the other thing is, I don't know. Like, Has he been regularly picked for England teams? I don't watch England properly.
No,
No.
he hasn't. And I
So,
suspect
another reason.
I think that's something to do with it. That's a good point.
Yeah.
But I suspect the reason why Gareth Southgate's come out and given a lot more detail, which is kind of a lot of underhand digs.
Yeah, it's very underhanded. I didn't. Southgate's bad there. That's not something I've seen from Southgate.
Yeah, there's a lot of underhand digs there. I feel like it's because people are asking why Ben White doesn't get picked for England team. Why has Ben White not given when he has been one of the best right backs in the league this season and last season? And people will ask, why is Ben White not picked? It's just joke. It's a joke. It's just joke. That's why.
And I think what's happened. I think he's sort of not said nothing. And I thought he's gone over Continental. This thing's happened with Steve Holland, right? Ben White's now playing for Arsenal. Probably he could say over the last 10, 15 games the best right back in the league. Over the last 10, 15 games, he's playing out of his skin. So now Gareth Southgate's decided that he obviously wants to be in the squad. He wants him in there.
Yeah.
But now Ben White's probably turned around and said, "Oh, you want me now?" Like using Kieran's word, "Fuck you." Right?
No,
right?
I get it. Yeah, the attitude. Like, I don't
You know
like
what I mean?
that attitude,
I'm
but
like,
with everything building up, I can understand a picture forming here. You know what I mean? He's not been getting picked regularly, even though he's clearly been better than people that have been getting picked. He's had a bust up with a geezer, with one of the coaches who thinks that he's got a really poor attitude. And it's probably like, I know, you know what I mean? The anxiety hits, don't you? Like, no matter how much you're putting in the effort, that coach is probably going to gaffer, mate, wait, like, etc., etc. I don't think you should ever, bottom line, I don't think you should ever completely take yourself off the shelf for international.
Which he hasn't. It's for now. And those are the quotes from both Southgate and Arsenal.
But I think what Southgate's done is this is a bit like the Ten Hag one again with Sancho. I can sort of see what some people were saying about Sancho. I thought Ten Hag played it well, but looking at the Southgate thing, all you have to say is Ben made himself unavailable and nothing more after that. None of this.
He spoke too much.
I'm not playing for a team that's running. Yeah, I'm not playing for a team that's going for a title, implying that Arsenal, the club, are playing underhand tactics of keeping Ben White out, and Ben White himself is just deciding not to play for England because
what will resonate with a lot of the older generation of England's fans is he's seeing club over country, and that's an argument that's been around for a long while. So I think that was dirty tactics there.
I think there's a lot of reasons. I think there is something to do with the fact that he just doesn't want to transfer all over the world. I think he doesn't want to sort of it's not really him. Like Garth said, he's not. He's
a homeboy, isn't he?
And I've heard like other professional footballers talking the last 2 days, and they said, look, we know of England players who are exactly like that. Who don't want to travel and go in friendlies and spend their time. But you say like for now that thing. I mean, for me, as I say, he's not totally. Ben White's not said I'm never ever going to play for England again. But I think the way it came across is that he certainly hasn't got no interest of playing for England under Steve Holland and Gareth Southgate ever again.
That's fair. That's fair. Steve, you can tell where you're coming from. You're 100% with him. As an Arsenal fan, mate, we're like,
look, it's disappointing.
Are you on his side?
No, I am.
Yeah.
Look, I've been in situations where people think you're not taking it seriously, or that your attitude is a bit like you're messing around, and it's not a nice place to be, especially when you are putting it in. Like, this is a player who, when he got picked for England initially, spoke about how when he got the call, he was crying for hours. He was so happy. It was one of the best moments of his life. So it's not that he doesn't want to play for England. There's circumstances which happen, which has really tainted how he saw England. And if that's the energy and the atmosphere around the camp that he's the guy and he's got the authority to dress people down like that, which he has every right to, working with Gareth Southgate, because that's Southgate's decision to make, then it's not going. How's it going to work? How is someone who's that headstrong, who's looked at a player who doesn't really know him and is deemed that you're not taking it seriously and I'm going to dress you down in front of everyone else, if that headstrong, how's it going to be resolved? He's not going to apologise. It's not going to be resolved. Like, let's be serious.
I hope my main reason for me, like as an Arsenal, I hope he's all right. I hope he's happy with his decision, and as long as he's okay with it, then I'm okay. You know, if
Yeah.
he's
But it was.
if
It
he's
probably was until it's become a massive news story, which it shouldn't be. I don't know. It just really shouldn't be. He said he don't want to play for England. No, not even that. At the moment, it's a nothing story. The media they're feeding on drip.
I really can't buy into this. Oh well, you can't just switch it on and switch it off. If you don't want to play for England, why should he ever play again?
Absolute nonsense. It's absolute
come
nonsense.
on.
But again, the old dinosaurs who are like thinking that England's like the be all and end all, and it's not anymore. It's not.
It just isn't,
you know, to players, it's not. Mate, especially. Now, I'm not saying one player's better than the other, but especially if you're a part of a side who are in Champions League quarterfinals, semi-finals, or going for titles. That's your bread and butter. That's you go out there, you get injured, right? If I'm a player, right, I'm thinking to myself, geez, I mean, I've got Bayern Munich twice in a few weeks. I've got Man City on that. You know, do I really want to be traipsing around the world with two dickheads who I can't stand?
Yeah,
but I don't.
They're friendlies, ain't they?
Yeah.
So I mean, again, like,
but I don't think Ben. Look, can't read Ben White's mind, but I don't think I'd be more disappointed if Ben White's looking at it and going, "No, I don't fancy traipsing around," because that's part of it. You know, like that is for me. If it's a case of Ben White's looking and saying, "I don't fancy traveling, I don't like this, and I don't get in the team, or I don't get minutes." Sorry, mate. Sorry. Like that's just England. 11 people can get picked. 22 people go. Yes, it is a massive privilege to go to a World Cup to go, and you can't all of a sudden just go, "Yeah, do you know what? World Cup's on. I want to go." No, but the whole problem the issue between people that's not going to get resolved in the space of the time that Gareth Southgate at the end of the season, and then will probably end up leaving. What's the point? What's the point?
Yeah,
it's not worth it. It's not worth your mental health. Like, just leave it for now.
You made a good point, and you made it earlier as well. Didn't think about it. You think about it. This is Southgate's third tournament. There ain't many international managers that go on much longer than a third international tournament.
No, I think he'll go after this.
You're probably right. And then like Ben White's 25, 20, like around that age, isn't it?
Yeah,
he's got years. He's got years. You know what I mean? So yes, wait him out. Why not?
And obviously the players, they must know what's going on. You know, the Arsenal players that are there and other players. He's got a lot of friends.
Talking to Nath, I just don't think players mind about this sort of stuff like that. Even friends, you know what I mean? They like you say, they don't know what's going on, but deep down, they're not going to like. Care's the wrong word, but speaking about this, players' interaction with each other seems to be a lot less than I thought it might be. Like they don't know each other once they leave the changing room, sort of thing. It's quite funny. He's like it's my work buddy. Like, did you know everyone at the office? Like, did you worry about what's going on in their lives? Did you worry about this? Like, no,
you have mates that you have from work. Yeah, you know, it's fair. That's fair.
You can commiserate with them, but after that, you don't take it on. Like, you don't take it on yourself at all. So.
I think as well, Garth. I think like again, there's a lot into this. I think, and again, it's not saying it should be the way, but with Ben White, it is. I think that like Kieran said earlier, he likes playing football, but he's not someone who's after football. You know, gets involved in it. So why the hell he's probably thinking another reason why I don't really want to do it is that if I'm not going to start, if I'm not going to play, if I'm just going to sit on a bench, what is the point? I mean, and I'm not saying that's the right attitude because most players wouldn't think, but with Ben White, because I know his personality and the way he thinks, that's probably something else that where he's coming.
Yeah.
But like,
sorry, Kieran, I thought you were going, mate. Sorry.
with the not watching football once you've. Because that's one thing that really annoys me. Because people love to say Ben White don't even like football, so like, of course you ain't playing for him. You don't even like football. Like, get him out. Like, shut up. It's not what he said. Yeah, that's like me and you, Garth. We love films. We love other things. Yeah, like if we don't watch Arsenal, Man United, who are we watching? We're rarely watching these other games. Do you know what I mean? Let's be honest. We're rarely watching these other.
You're giving away secrets here, mate. Yeah, YouTube highlights, lads. YouTube highlights for everybody else.
Yeah, we'll be watching if something's on Sky Sports and it's on during the day. Yeah, crack on. Champions League games on. But like, I completely get that if football, you're playing it all day. You're doing that analysis. You're getting home. If the first thing you want to do is crack on a game of football. It's just not. Like, come on, I think you've got to be a bit more
No,
understanding than
no,
that football,
no.
not every football player is the
Yeah.
kid that lives, eats, drinks, and sleeps football.
I crave for golf. It's like sometimes when there's no football
There we
match
go.
on, I'm like,
I watch the golf.
I can sit there, I can relax, I can just relax and watch something I really enjoy, which is golf. And sometimes you think, there's no decent games on this week. I'm buzzing this weekend because I get excited. I can watch 3 days of golf.
Yeah, I don't mind watching the cricket as well. This is what I mean. It's not the be all and end all. It's not the be all.
The bottom line is as well, these fans that are getting in uproar about this, like, trust me, people, you're going to be in for a massive shock if you think there's that many footballers that are like be all end all, live, eat, sleep football, everything's football. That's a fans mentality. That's a fans mentality.
It is
like,
a fans mentality.
They live football as it is. They don't need the fantasy of.
They need to
every
switch
match.
off.
Yeah. They need to switch off. Exactly right, bro.
Yeah. Let's go to the comment section quickly before we talk about the Champions League. Simon says the media knows exactly what they're doing with Ben White while they're trying to unsettle Arsenal. Every time he touches the ball, they're expecting the fans to boo him, which puts the pressure on us. He said, club over country every single day of the week. I'd rather Arsenal win the Champions League than England win the World Cup. The people booing you right now, Si. Booing. I tell you what,
that's a big statement.
Get a day off if England win the World Cup.
I totally agree with you, Simon. 100%. No doubt.
Get a day off of work if England win the World Cup.
Seriously, like, because obviously, and this isn't a dig, boys, you ain't won it. England win the World Cup or Arsenal get that Champions League, like literally next year, this year, like World Cup win.
Honestly,
stop thinking about the party. Stop thinking about the World Cup.
No, I'm thinking about the party. This is what I'm about to say, England.
Yeah, no World Cup party, bro.
If Arsenal win the Champions League, there's a woo. If England win the World Cup, mate, England goes off. It is a national holiday. The parties that night is going to be crazy.
2 for 1 drinks. 2 for 1 drinks.
2 days. 2 days of it non-stop.
You boys.
Ask me another day. Ask me when I'm 50.
On the Arsenal show tomorrow night, he'd be like, "Yeah, it's Arsenal all day long." Go on,
Nah, he's thinking about. I know, Stuart. He's thinking about that party, mate. He's definitely thinking about that party up London. 1000%.
The beer will flow.
Yeah, have a few berries during the day.
Trafalgar Square. Hey.
It's up Camden Town in the night. Rave at 2 o'clock in the morning. Home for 6. Get a shut eye. Job done.
Harry Kane, they win a trophy. I just can't have it, mate. Sorry.
Get out of it. Ben will not play for England again whilst Southgate is money. He's added to the staff members. Yeah, we see that. Steve Holland. Boo. The guy doesn't like watching football when he's not playing games. So why does anyone want to sit on the bench? Ben White should be on the bench, but Southgate has his loves that won't drop no matter what. Champions League all day long. Of course, she's going to say that, Si. And on the Champions League, a good segue to that one is the quarterfinal draw. We saw it earlier on. Arsenal take on Bayern Munich. Atletico Madrid take on Borussia Dortmund. The Galacticos, old versus new. Manchester City take on Real Madrid. And Paris Saint-Germain take on FC Barcelona. What a draw that is.
Yeah,
what a draw that is for football fans around the world. Great spectacle. Bayern Munich, Arsenal. Look, we all know about the 10-2 over 2 legs last time. Real Madrid versus Manchester City. I mean, could you want any more? I mean, next season it'll be Mbappe versus Haaland, but this season, Manchester's. But we saw a replay of last season, and PSG versus Barcelona as well. It's going to be a great game.
We're back, kids. We're back.
Steve, we'll speak more about the Bayern Munich game versus Arsenal tomorrow on the Arsenal show. But what was your thoughts on that draw? Because me personally, I feel like some people jumping the gun far too quickly after seeing that draw. What's your thoughts?
Well, jumping the gun in what respect?
Well, I'm seeing people talk about who would you like in the final. What?
On an Arsenal's point of view, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I mean, look, Garth said right at the beginning of the show, look at, 8 teams there that you could probably have, you could maybe Dortmund, probably the lesser of the 8. You know, you can make an argument for every single one of them possibly winning it. You know, Dortmund have won it before, haven't they? You know,
97.
so, but yeah, so yeah, I mean, eight top European teams. Yeah, who's going to win it? I don't know. I must admit, I was doing a well pleased and Man City drew Real Madrid. I thought I was over the moon.
I bet every other club in the quarters was loving that draw. Yeah. Every other club.
Yeah,
mate, they've had Tottenham, and I know Liverpool, great team, but they've had Liverpool. That's a domestic team. Like they've had Lyon. Yeah. So it's about time they started getting someone a bit difficult.
Big boys, big.
And I'll tell you what, it was like. I mean, I don't know if you boys watched the draw, but I watched the draw live. And when Real Madrid was, or was it? Who's at home first? Was it Man City? Was at home first?
Real Madrid at home first.
Oh, Real Madrid at home first. So yeah, Real Madrid got drawn out, and then obviously I'm looking at the screen. I'm going, "Can't please be Man City, please be Man City," and it come out. I was like, "Yes, Man City." And the cameras panned on Tixie, you know, the Man City sporting director. He looked like he just
sick.
Like mate, he looked well sick. He was absolutely, you know, he had like a face of thunder. You know, he did not look happy that he was playing Real Madrid. You know, but yeah, look, I mean, great. I mean, you know, obviously I won't go in. Definitely won't talk about the game, but you know, as far as Arsenal drawing Bayern Munich, you know, everybody's asking who they wanted. You know, out of the 7 teams, and yeah, obviously I didn't want Atletico Madrid like a lot of people for
I don't want Atletico.
Pretty obvious reasons. I didn't really want Man City. I didn't want to play Real Madrid. That's for sure. I wouldn't have minded Barcelona or PSG. I think we can take them on it over 2 legs. But the team that I said that I wanted was, you know, I said give me Bayern Munich. That was the one that I wanted to
with your chest out, Steve. You were on a live stream going, I want Bayern Munich. Quarterfinals of the Champions League. Mate,
we should want to get them. Forget about it.
When it was the fact, I feel that we could beat them. I'm
not saying you can't. I think we chest out, mate. That was confidence. I like it, mate. The confidence with that, like, yeah, no, I want Bayern Munich. I want them. So,
Go.
What
do you think the tie of the draw is?
It's obviously Man City, Real Madrid.
It's
obviously, Man City, Real Madrid's the draw, the tie of the draw. Listen, I think you've got, like I've always said, that's 4 amazing games. Usually, once Man United aren't in it, I don't pay much attention to the Champions League because I'm a spiteful fan like that. If we're not successful, I don't want no one to be successful. But that's 4 games that's going to get me involved. It's not. I know we were saying that we don't watch much other football, like a lot of it, you know, but that's getting me involved. That's 4 great games. Yeah, there's no one there. That, no, you were saying, Steve, like that, who you wanted. There's no one out of them 7 teams where I'll be like, yeah, I want them. Like no one's weak there. Everyone's strong. You know, I mean, Harry Kane's out there breaking records for Bayern Munich, any of his goal scoring, as per usual. So excited. You boys must be excited. There's nothing like, I was saying, there's nothing like getting a final minute winner against your rivals. There's also nothing like European last 8, last 4. European nights, the lights, the music, the atmosphere. It's glorious. It's so you must be hyped for it. There's no 2 ways about it.
It was what it was, Garth. I think the reason why I want Bayern Munich is I'm still having nightmares over the 10-2, and I just want revenge. And it's like I said, and I just said, I just feel we're better than them, and I think we can take them. And you know,
on your day,
that really hurt. That really hurt.
You're in the realm now. You're in the realm now, Steve. Where like, on your day, you can beat any one of them teams. 100%.
Well, that's it, Garth. That's it.
They're not on their day as well. You know, that it's one of them. Like, there's 8 absolutely, 8 like absolutely fantastic teams. Like,
they're like Arsenal in the best. This is the best team that's in the Emirates era by none. You know, with this is the strongest team. So you know, if you want to inflict some misery on a team that ripped you to pieces last time in the Champions League, 5-1, 5-1. It's you think that this is the team that can do it. So
it would be a watershed moment for you. It'd be a watershed moment for you.
What I would say is, I think the Porto game has showed us that no matter what form you are in the Premier League, the Champions League is a different kettle of fish. And I think that gave people a little bit of I thought it gave people a little bit of reality check until I saw some posts saying about who do you want in the final, which is wild. Remember, that's not all Arsenal fans. That's just a select few. But
it's great to be here, isn't it, mate? It's great to be where we are.
I think that's
from there, it's a bonus.
That was my message at the start of the season when people were saying, what's your expectation? And my expectation is get out of the group stage, see who we get next. And that's still, like, for me, this is all a part of the learning curve. Taking on Porto, because people thought that would be an easy buy into the next round. You learn the hard way. That there's a reason why they were previous champions in the Champions League. And that pedigree doesn't go. The tea lady was probably still there. The people that are in and involved in and around that with Jose Mourinho were still there. I think Costa Curta was playing for Porto at the time, weren't he? When Mourinho was the manager. Like, probably, so we would have been in and around that. So he knows how to prepare for those games. He knows how to take on those difficult games in the Champions League when you're expected to go out. Like, and that's why he played that type of football, because he can't expect to go toe to toe against these teams. And other teams are going to deploy that sort of way as well. Like, are Bayern Munich going to go toe-to-toe with Arsenal? I don't know. It'll be an interesting game. Every single game there. 4 excellent games, and I'm excited to see how we get on the next game.
I mean, what you got Real Madrid and Man City. I mean, look, who do you boys think is going to come out on top of that one?
I don't know. The problem I have with Real Madrid is they don't score enough goals. But they're Real Madrid. And they find a way.
They're not the Real Madrid of old, though, are they?
It's not, but that's what I'm saying. It's the problem I see with Real Madrid is they don't score enough goals. But they're an awesome team. I don't know. It's going to be a difficult one, I think. But FC Barcelona beat PSG. PSG are just they're a myth. I think someone said it to me. You can't go from playing this 4th tier, 5th tier football to then come in to play the Champions League. The drop off is too much, and we've seen that when PSG were at their best over the last few seasons with Neymar, Di Maria when they got to the finals. But it was too much. The jump was too much. They even had a break again. It was too much. Atletico Madrid versus Borussia Dortmund. Borussia Dortmund are not a great team anymore. They're not. No. They're really actually quite poor. If I could say that.
That's the team you'd want out of that tie.
That's the team you'd want.
If there's any team there, it's Dortmund. Yeah.
So for me, Atletico Madrid get through, and then it's out of the Arsenal Bayern Munich. And if I'm honest, with Bayern Munich's experience, I think it's a 50-50 game. Arsenal's got a lot of inexperienced players. I think we saw in the last game against Porto, Saka and Saliba. We saw that they've hit another level where they've now got that. This is a learning curve in their development, and I think it shows when people talk about world-class players. You do have to be experienced in these competitions. You do have to have experience of these competitions to class yourself as world-class. You can't just play in the Premier League and then say you're world-class.
I'll tell you what, though.
You've got to match yourself against these other players.
I'll tell you what, though. I agree with you, because Saka was, I say, we probably
he was quiet. He was quiet.
He was really poor, and Saliba didn't look right. But
but this is part of it.
Sometimes there's certain games that a player grows in, and it makes it. And some a player who does it. Funny enough, it's weird, but he's never been really spoken about. We hear about Declan Rice, or is he world class? Is Saliba world class? But for me, Martin Odegaard went probably that little way above him on that other night. If anybody's
it's not his first Champions League, is it?
And if anybody's closer to world class than out of anybody in Arsenal's time, everything's changed for me now, because
can I just
he's absolutely incredible.
Getting Martin Odegaard is world class into there somehow. I don't know how you've done it, mate. You twisted that conversation down a little tunnel. Like, I'm getting this out. I'm there.
No, he's not. I'm not saying he's world
class. I don't know.
I'm not saying he's world class. I'm saying that you know the art. I mean, I don't really agree with this. The fact that you have to do it in the Champions League World Cup. You have to win a World Cup. I think that's absolute nonsense, personally.
The World
right?
Cup thing.
You know,
it's about five. It's about 5 countries that won it.
If we're going on that, you know, De Bruyne's like come off injured in 2 Champions League finals or whatever it was, and has never played in the World Cup. So on them stats, he's not world class either.
I'm distancing myself from this one.
But he is. We all know he is. But no, it's just. I'm not saying Odegaard's there. I'm saying there's always a lot of talk about, you know, the players, Sleep set. But for me, against Porto, Martin Odegaard, home and away, actually, was just absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, but I think like, what Keir was saying is the truth in it, is that Porto game should have shown the younger Arsenal fans who've not seen a lot of Champions League football, like just like Man United fans, that you can't take anyone for granted in Europe. Because before that Porto game, you remember it, don't you, Keir? We were talking about it, like, mate, there's a lot of people out here talking a lot of whack about like how you boys are going to run through them, and then you saw exactly what happened.
No, it's a whole different kettle of fish.
It's a different gravy, and
it's nothing to do with the league. It's nothing to do with the league. You know, Porto have, you know, the players. They know how to play Champions League football. All their players have played in it much more than what Arsenal does. The crowd, the aura, the tea lady behind the scenes, like you said, they all know the Champions League. You know, their club's drenched in it. Do you know what I mean? They know how to win football, mate. It's not about who's the best.
That's why Liverpool do well.
It's not about who's got the best team, who's got the best players. It's nothing to do with that. It's about on that day. And they just went out of a plan. But at the end of the day, their plan didn't work, and they still lost. So you've got to give Arsenal big credit for that, for our young players to be able to come through that. But yeah, look, it's going to be difficult. You know, PSG and Barcelona is another one. You know, that's going to be a great game as well. We haven't really spoken about that, but it's going to be unbelievable.
It's going to be great. All I'll say, lads, is obviously we played Bayern Munich twice this year.
Were they all that?
Not like it's still Bayern Munich, and there's still Harry Kane. When they break, they've got pace, they've got power. Like, they're scary opposition, but they're not the best team I've seen all year. If you come at your best, then you've got more than enough to take them.
Yeah, you know, Saka's going to have to come up against Alphonso Davies, who's a beast.
Yeah, Davies is just Davies is another one. He's a pacer. He's really quick, and he's an all right defender. But Bukayo Saka shouldn't fear him. Saka shouldn't fear him at all. Shouldn't fear Alphonso Davies. Listen, he's strong and he's pacey, so he can recover quickly. You know what I mean? Once you get past him,
it'd be a totally different game from the Porto one.
Yeah, his actual defending is not the best you've ever seen, at all.
All right. That is all we have time for. Thank you for everyone who's joined us tonight. A lot of people have joined us. Please make sure you hit that like and subscribe if you are new to the show. If you are a regular, hit that share button and hit that like button. Thank you for joining us, Garth, and thank you for joining us, Steve.
Cheers, mate. Pleasure.
Cheers, mate. Pleasure.
Thank you.
Steve, you're going to have to do the honours of signing out because my screen has crashed and I've not been able to move for the last 5 minutes. I don't know if you've noticed.
I didn't know if you noticed.
I did notice. I've been in the background sweating.
All right, then, people. I'm going to say good night to everybody. Peace out. Stay safe, and wash your hands.
Thank you, Steve.